Her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember? You have the revolutionary soldier figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back. Don't be so pessimistic. Love doesn't die that easily. This isn't funny. You have a bad feeling about this one. So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious. This is surely what the figurines are for. The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass. A crack runs across the length of her body, her face oval and sad. Why? That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else? I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things already. Only a strange little sadness remains. The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression. The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent. And then it's gone, almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums. It seems the sound here is detached from its source somehow, if not blotted out outright. Truly, you can hardly hear your own breathing. Your voice is barely audible, not a howl, but the softest of whimpers. It's unnerving. You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total, somehow. The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head. Then he leans closer.
Can you hear anything? I wonder why the church was built with such strange acoustics.
His detached tone conceals how uncomfortable he is.
Please, detective, not this again.
He's trying to act dismissive, but at this particular moment, he's more open than usual to the idea of paranatural phenomena. The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead. It's like there's something moving up there. A shadow has emerged from the tower and it's making its way toward you through all the other shadows. You see something hanging from the rafters. Maybe it's possible to talk to it. The shadow is a man made of the same stuff as the carpentry of the building. He is studying you intently. The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be all right.
That accent is Villalobos, a peninsula in Mesque and a district in Jamrock. There's a sizable contingent of Villalobos-speaking Mesques in Revachol.
Here you can receive the mother's love.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user.
I'm put off by this religious stuff, he thinks. And maybe the ceiling climbing, too. It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality. The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover. Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections. International. Winter, slow to let go of Revachol, flecks some more wet snow from above. The snow falls lazily, making the beach sand paler still, mixing with the rust-colored sewage runoff. And to think, it seemed as though it were already spring. The melting snow seeps through your thin clothes. Grandmothers don't let their grandchildren out dressed so lightly in this weather. You look around. More winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings, crumbling piers, salt water lapping at their dark piles, grey and red forgotten city blocks, what remains of the pre-revolutionary effort to gentrify the coast. The waters turn black, coal city in the shadow of Saint-Martin, a boom town. Back when coal extracted from countless shafts near the city was needed to power Revachol. No more. The coal was supplanted by petroleum from the ocean floor and hydropower from the Esperance. Everything crumbled. These days, only the weakest remain in Coal City. Their hopes of getting rich linger in the defunct shafts under their feet. Below the old mines, l'Océan Municipal, Revachol's underground cemetery, Le Petit Rat, braved the underground passageways, trying to get to Le Royaume, where the Philippian kings were interred with their doctors and their admirals. Mausoleums, burial chambers, leaf gold still remains on the double door of the morning. Yes, to peel the gold off with his fingernails. Children under 14, they go underground looking for artifacts to sell to foreign museums, and for fabled relics. Their parents let them. They go deeper. After rubies, melchiorite, lapis lazuli, plundered from Safle and Seol during the time of the suzerain, in the burial chambers of the kings, Grand Old Philip, Guillaume II, and even in the mausoleum of Philip the Opulent. 2 kilometers underground, in a winding shaft along whose walls mirrors have been placed, so that daylight may eternally fall upon the richest of all the kings. The mausoleum contains untold quantities of gold, and that special, purest of the pure magenta cocaine, favored by Revacholian royalty. How can it be pure if it's magenta? Snow falls, and there is no answer. Some things are not for mortals to know. Few petits rats return from the shafts. Even fewer find what they're looking for. A small child steps out of the black tunnel with silver trinkets in her pockets. All around her, white snow on the extinguished coke furnaces and on the weather-worn shacks where fathers beat their sons after drinking. The snow melts on your fingers, turning to water. The canal you crossed to get here and beyond it. Martinez proper, the district the police forgot to police. There is laughter, Lights, attempts at entrepreneurial activity, cynicism. Someone is scraping snow off their windshield at the roundabout, in the midst of which a statue of Philip III serves as a destination for grade school field trips and a fine perch for winter birds. Like all monuments, it's also a warning. 6-story ruins on the south side of the roundabout cast a long shadow over the profligate king. A fenced-off yard. There's a truck belonging to a logistics company parked next to the gate. Bright light from a building behind the fence reflects off its hood. Clean white light coming from the windows of a clean cube-shaped office building hidden amidst ruins. A secret. The abandoned church, its walls covered with hoarfrost now. One of Lesette's sœurs. The other 6 sisters were destroyed during the revolution. A serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the Martinez Inlet. Unfortunates on the run from the law, from themselves, sometimes hide out on nearby islets. Little dots in the ocean that are occasionally submerged when the tide is high and the weather foul. The remains of a camp on a jagged piece of rock, a tent, old dishes and cutlery, long since abandoned. A hermit crab scuttles among the debris, looking for a new shell. Further out, the lights burn bright on Resurrection, way beyond Martinez. A popular spa destination for ample-bodied Ozon kids with equally ample pockets. Then there's Ozon, but the snow falls too thick. You cannot see that far. The Bay of Revachol, vastness, great depth, over 1,200 meters at its deepest. Water, air-brinier than here. It is crisscrossed by huge cargo ships bearing company logos. Wild pines, Zam, Mauryan, and at the farthest reaches of the Bay of Revachol, the shadow of the coalition warship Archer, on perpetual patrol duty, ready to unleash artillery fire if you were to rise up against the market. You shudder. The raised motorway, 881, separating Martinez from Jamrock. Vehicles whoosh past one another day and night, while those who reside in the labyrinthine alleyways beneath the motorway attempt to carry on with their lives in the snow and the slush. And south of the 881 is the Pox. Was once a park, a place for reflection and recuperation for the patients of the old military hospital. In the 20s, it was used as a quarantine center during a measles outbreak that killed many children. Most everyone has avoided the hospital and surrounding park ever since. The Pox is completely wild now. Evergreen thickets covered in snow and industrial dust. Feral dogs and even wolves roaming in packs. The police try to keep the deepest corners cordoned off. Heavy drug users do slip through and hole up in the old military hospital, hoping to find something to get high on among the hastily abandoned supplies, or just to overdose in peace. A line of motor garages with armored carapaces hunched in the cold. A mechanic is hard at work, patching up bullet holes in the side of a Capri 40. These are the garages of Precinct 41. Snow settles on the roof of the repurposed silk mill. It serves as your station. Shivering RCM personnel hurry in and out of the main entrance. Around you, the snow continues to fall. To the west, the ocean swells. The stairs descend to central Jamrock. A man named Cooklove has a snow-covered stall there in the market across the bridge. He sells kebab infested with fly larvae to your colleagues who believe eating it will make them immune to food poisoning. Snow falls on the utility district, the library, the florist, the Sarah Mauritian restaurant that offers homemade wine. and also on the brothels and drug dens and the chop shops of the Zemlyaki. All of this built around a lake that formed in a meteorite strike. At the center of this lake, there is a little ship. There are lights at the bottom of its hull. They are lights directed toward the seafloor, looking for something, like whiskers. A chill comes over you, crawling down your back. The sand under your feet is wet. Somewhere in the south, tarpaulin flap in the wind. More coalition aerostatics. Occasionally, lights flash as they maneuver through the falling snow. One large airship carries crates in its belly. Layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with industrial runoff, the storm drainage, hidden bunkers. Rats scuttle. Someone stuffed a big old polar anorak into a concrete pipe under the boardwalk. It would keep you warm. You would probably never happen across it, but who knows?
We should keep moving. Who knows when the snow will let up?
A colorful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall.
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. Here you go, mister. Here you go, mister.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cap. Oh, and an incredibly cool piece of kitchen tissue is stuck to the back. Just relax. The two sides of the board are slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off the slides. All you need to do is bend the plastic on your knee, slowly. The slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, without resistance or sound. The two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. 2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too. Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue. It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please. Outside, you hear the wind howl. A sudden gale blows in from Martinez, flapping street signs and window blinds.
Come outside.
Far away and outside, the reeds hiss with desperation. Step out. Well, hello. Someone seems to have found himself a bottle of alcohol. Here's where the magic happens. Pale-aged vodka. This is rare game indeed. The gods have been generous. Better pop it open before they change their minds. Wow, the gods of mass production have made this alcohol container laughably easy to open. A child could have done it. Oh yes, the chest pain and the dizziness. You've suffered long enough. Now it's time to drink, to live. There's a satisfying crack as the cap comes off, and the hair on your back rises like an army at attention. You've been here before. Welcome back, detective. You're home now. You see a flash of teeth, a young woman smiling at you near some railway overpass in your ruined past. She is gorgeous, and she is yours. Nothing. Some mental stuff. Nothing to be worried about. Physically, you'll be strong as an ox. A golden sun melts down your throat. Its rays filling your nostrils with sunshine. Your stomach melts from it into a happy, gooey mess. So does your mind. All the bad things are melting. You're you again. A real cop. A real detective. Incredibly well done. From the void we came, and to the void we must return. It's the ledger you found in the trash. Oh, and an incredibly cool piece of kitchen tissue. It's without resistance or sound. The words just crossed your mind somehow. Who do you think? Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Familiar handwriting line. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile. Harry, it begins. Throw it away, please. No. A merciful wind blows in from the Bay of Revachol, dusting the ground at your feet and raising newspapers far away. You feel the card slipping into it. Now that you're out, let go.
Let go.
Just like that, the wind picks it from your fingers. Cold, they let go. The wax paper rustles, a whisper light and low. Then a sudden gust raises the postcard to the drizzle-gray sky above, away from you. A small piece of paper dances above Martinez, above slow waves crashing the shore, and the war-torn houses, and the new bâtiments nouveaux alike. Above you, looking up to the gray sky with your hair greasy and wet. And above the distant streets and the 881, even above the old fish market and the church. Its material existence is lost. This great city will pocket it for you. For your own sake, forget about it. Not for yourself, for the people of Revachol, for the 80,000 under your jurisdiction. Under Precinct 41, where typewriters fire long into the night and officers walk the great steps and the bridge, long after the card has landed in the cold shore waters, its writing dissolved, material disintegrated. The wind carries the keepsake away from you. To the southwest, the pale violet dot disappears. The ledger of oblivion-induced mental health is just as shabby as the damaged ledger was. A bunch of sodden papers sags from the clipboard in your hand. A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles.
Okay, here. Okay, here. Okay, here. I hope Saint.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message, written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there, and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager. Why that? The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
No wonder the cafeteria manager seemed frustrated when he was giving us directions to the yard. Well, you did provide us with a very convenient access point to the crime scene.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Attaboy. It's coming back to him. You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there, not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like you weren't yourself. Forget about the bar. Or don't forget about it. You should totally try to get a drink there too. But first, you should lick that stain off the counter. Yeah, man. Let's get wild. Lick it. Calmly, the lieutenant looks out of the window, then to you, licking the tasty rum stain off the counter, then out of the window again.
What are you doing? We should move.
You could definitely go for some more. The titillating scent of alcohol in your nostrils was beautiful.
Oh, hello, dear. I didn't notice you at first. To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed, I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel. Oh, forgive me for not introducing myself.
We ran into your husband on the coast, madame.
Are you sure it was him? I knew what I was getting into when I married a cryptozoologist. Still, I should have known he'd be returning late this time around. Finding the insulin, surely things can't be that bad?
You sense that she won't judge you, no matter what you say. She nods, but still looks worried.
Whatever do you mean? Ah, yes. Probably, of course, dear.
The litany of Contact Mike. 5,000 to 1 ranked outsider. No one saw it coming. The mantle of a game changer demands intangible qualities. Fights are not won. You're thinking instead of doing detective work right now. Fights are made, blow by blow. Let's take it, Mike to the Mikey. Some low-intensity part of you has entered a sports cliché-driven fugue state, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Also, Mike knew what it took to win. He just wanted it more.
Yes?
Hey, was there something you needed?
Well, well, bringing him that new bird sure made a difference in his attitude.
Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is this a shaker?
He sounds irritated, and it's not a shaker. It's nothing. He's holding nothing.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I wearing a bow tie and doing this? Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? No. Do you know why? Because I'm not a bartender. I'm a cafeteria manager. Is there anything else you wanted?
What you want is a goddamn drink. How is that so hard to understand? Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Well, you're not getting it, asshole!
This is a thoughtful exchange, but can we move on, please?
This medicine cabinet is stocked with drugs.
Anything of note?
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation. You haven't listened to it? You sure you don't want to hear it before questioning me? Of course, officer. I'll cooperate. I'm guessing he tried to give you the door gunner megamix? Yeah? They've got him saying he'd like to rape and kill. Do Ravishal Soldier of the Apocalypse style. It really upset the boys. I never said he was a good man. Only that he wasn't bad to me. We're all scraping up any happiness we can find, officer. Going around with our little scouring sticks. You, your first love. Mr. Soldier of the Apocalypse here.
Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things? Here in Martinez, I mean.
No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess.
There is a small measure of pride in her about this, that she could comfort and quell the rage in such a being.
That's about it, I think. It's not a very long tape. I'm quite sure he didn't, officer. The tape? I think he said whore a lot.
Kohoi, a village that was the site of infamous war crimes in the South Safre conflict, the ongoing proxy war between Grad and Safre. It has been hot for 12 years, with atrocities piling up daily, mostly committed by Grad.
He wasn't actually there. Not from what he told me, at least. But he might as well have been. I could see he'd lived his own little kohoi.
Was he bragging?
Oh no. I'm pretty sure he did terrible things. Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. He was like the Seminese conflict, the Khohoi massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezut all rolled into one person, then encased in Orani's ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower. Anytime, officer.
It isn't much closure, but it is enough. She is ready to talk about him now.
Like, for example, his name?
Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely.
A nickname?
I guess. He came from Lelystad.
Lelystad. That's a good start. We have a few questions you can help us with. A few things a field autopsy alone can't answer.
The young woman cranes her neck, trying to catch a glimpse of the page the lieutenant passed to you. On it is a list of autopsy observations, recorded neatly in blue ink, the last missing pieces of a puzzle of flesh.
In Oranje, officer. It's, I think municipality is the...
The Lelystad municipality has few boroughs and even fewer cities. It's made of agricultural plots near the border of Gottwald. Executive summary: cows, silos, and wheat.
You were almost right, officer. That means his race was Occidental, not Mondial. I'll update the form.
Yes. We were compatriots.
Did that bring you together?
No. He was too old for that. And from another part of Oranjenrek. I didn't even understand his accent.
No love for Mother Oranje. But wasn't he a soldier? This could be worth pursuing.
No. He left the National Service after they taught him to do what he did on Seminine. He wasn't the flag-waving kind. He was the making money, killing people kind. He was by no means a stupid man. A people No, there's nothing on Moindi. I love Revachol, though. I hope she loves me, too.
A column of air encircles her, brushing gently on the metallic silver fabric that covers her shoulders and her long, slender arms.
It didn't love him.
The feeling dissipates. The cold passes. The woman's eyes follow yours to the piece of notebook paper.
He was 42.
42? Are you sure? I would have had him above 50.
He had many scars that made him appear older. But no, we even celebrated his birthday like some weeks ago.
Looks like you were right, officer.
Points are good. Have one, you old dog, before we all die.
It isn't. Police work is a cooperative sport.
Blue. Light blue. They were like... Pardon the swearing. I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly.
He had a combat wound?
Yes. Severe.
Ah, yes. His hair, if you can remember?
It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made it oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone.
No. I can see you've put quite a few things here. They don't all give you a point.
There it is, in your rushed writing, right where the lieutenant is pointing. Pig's gonna have sex. You should really get this questioning back on track now.
Oh, that.
It's clear she liked it.
Quite a lot, yes. It was a map of his life and the places he visited as a soldier. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though. Yes? Why do you ask? Well, it's wrong. He had too many drinks to down and too many bad things to do. Couldn't tap out just yet.
Everything checks out here. It's all A-OK. Good answer.
It very well could be, yes. What do I mean? I have no idea. I don't even know what you mean. Love did him in? What does that mean? Of course, a moment ago it was love. And no, I don't think the Union is communist. They're a couple of shades pinker than that. They're not hardcore in that way, is what I'm trying to say.
I think she's just tired. She doesn't know what you meant by that. And can you blame her?
Good for you.
What do you think it will tell us?
I don't know how a semen sample works, officers. How many days after intercourse does it have to be? I don't even know if he had sex with someone else. We didn't go steady.
Is she avoiding anything? Technically not. See, there's something off here. This one must know she's deploying flares and countermeasures.
All right.
Coolly, gracefully, she pours herself more coffee. Wait, stop. That man, bloated beyond all recognition, was 42? Below the damage, the weeks of decomposition, all the swollen indignity of mortality. He was 42 years old? How old are you? That's where this is going. 45,000 liters of raw alcohol has left its disfigurements. What lies beneath, you wonder? You could ask either one of them.
Huh. How old do I think you are?
She's buying time to formulate the best answer.
I don't know. 1, 2. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How old is a newborn cop who doesn't remember he's a cop?
You're not.
Sure he is. You know, age is just a number.
Yes, but for him that number is much larger than 35.
Wait. This requires scientific measurements. To the laboratorium. A weathered brown door. The number reads 20. The lieutenant motions to you to go ahead and knock. This is the door. You already know it's the right door. This is going to be so hard.
You're right. Let's talk this through. We have our first preliminary identification. In all likelihood, the deceased is the husband of Billy Méjean. We need to confirm this, as well as deliver the death notification to Billy herself. Now, delivering a death notification is never an easy task. There's a reason why it's often called the most stressful part of our job. This is why it's usually done in pairs. You got this. I'll be monitoring reactions, ready to act if necessary. Dead? Just don't say that you know how they feel. You don't.
Good advice.
Yes, it's hard. But there is no easy way to handle this information.
The lieutenant motions towards the door.
Hello? Who is it? The police. A moment, please give us a...
There's fear in her voice.
Come in. The door.
It's you from the bookstand. Did you come to bring my cockatoo back? I don't think I introduced myself properly.
The lieutenant has taken off his foggy glasses and is busy cleaning them in his handkerchief for now. You're on your own here. He must feel vulnerable without his glasses. Is this why he's letting you take the lead?
Is this about Victor, my husband? Is he in some kind of trouble again? No, this is something much worse. Is he in a hospital? How bad is it?
How about some small talk before you break the news? Definitely no small talk. This isn't the time or place. I don't want to. I don't want to do this.
Say what?
Officer,
Too late. You ruined.
Excuse me, what?
She's in pain. She's...
we are very sorry to inform you, but your husband, Victor Méjean, was found dead this morning on the Martinez boardwalk.
Oh. Oh. But he was just...
He was just here. Alive.
I understand that this comes as a huge shock. I want you to know that me and my partner are here for you if you have any questions. We are very sorry for your loss, ma'am.
What happened to him? Tell me. And you just... found him there? Lying in the cold? How long had he been there?
She doesn't reply. Her eyes well up with tears. You hear the clock ticking in the children's room.
Is there anyone we could call for you? A friend, a family member, someone who could be here for you?
No. I just need to tell my girls. God, should I call them? Should I tell them to come home? All right, I'll call them. Just tell me, what do I need to do next? Where is he? Can I see him? And who should I contact?
He was taken to the city morgue. The local coroner will be contacting you shortly to arrange the funeral. Here's his number, in case you want to contact him earlier. Is there anything else that the RCM could do for you?
No, I'll call you if something comes up. I'm still a bit...
Again, if there's anything we could do for you, then don't hesitate to call the RCM, ma'am.
She just nods.
I'll take it from here.
We should step outside and talk.
Why does art inspire you so much? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too. Such vigor. Already you express a sharp, descriptive mind, ready to slice through the empty and superficial in favor of the sublime and the beautiful. Do it. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop. Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street. You must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the trite and derivative artists and writers of the world. Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble.
So, the death notification.
He's avoiding your gaze. This is the time to say how sorry you are about how things went.
Well, I'll call the station when we are done with the day and inform them about the identity of the deceased. But yes, that's on me. Let's get on with the murder investigation.
Gendarmerie.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Then I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. Trust me, you do. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
Don't worry, we'll meet again.
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple through his body.
Take care, all right?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Right after you.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out tool.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Yes. It took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready?
The lieutenant leans in to listen. Notebook.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Ellis Kortenaer. That's Ellis Kortenaer. Exact date of birth, unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February, 09. He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2.
According to Clausia, Lele said his real name wasn't really his. Perhaps that's because he was fostered.
This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the East Brand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminole conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did. And that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachol. None, officer. Sorry.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. Thank you, Elise. Great work.
No problem, Lieutenant.
A compliment from Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Not bad.
A name. This is very good. Elise Cortenard.
This means something to him. To know that name. Like naming a case. It's important. Sometimes police work is about human dignity. About giving back names to anonymous victims.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Did you have any other questions? 57th. Oh.
In the cabin, you... The Greatest Innocence by João Paulo Salomão Lopes de Fuego. The book is large and heavy. Browsing through the various chapters, you try your best to understand the ceaseless overflow, the sprawl of names, dates, places, events historical. Most of it ends up as a twisted mass of facts inside your brain. Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well, it's pop quiz time. Let's see what you've learned. This might take a few minutes. You ready? That's the spirit. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the first Innocence? Oh yeah, this is what I was made for. A pop quiz is a short examination designed to test your knowledge without any prior warning or announcement. Such exams allow the teacher to assess how thoroughly the students have retained the material at hand. Voila. Now blast that first Innocence. Thanks for nothing. Dolores Day. Dolores. Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. She codified parliamentary democracy and created modern institutions. Among these, the moral intern, she was powerful and beautiful on all her icons. Her colors are silver, white, and apricot. And when you think her name, Dolores, stomach acid rises to the back of your throat, and it hurts. You see a flash silver, a wreath, an airport bag, and blonde hair. You don't know why. Another choice, perhaps? Steer clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one. A strange sensation of loss. When she left the earth, the dust, and the ice, and the humans. That is unimportant to the quiz. Stop thinking about this. Yes, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse sensations in yourself at the mention of Dolores Day. Who was the first Innocence? Then go with your best guess. Isn't that what students are trained to do when they don't know the answer? Correct. Nothing much is known about him. It's not even clear that he was a he, but Franco Negro presumed as such and called him Pius. He's depicted as a young man with molten gold pouring out of his mouth. All he spoke was gold. It's said he invented God and equality of men before God. He also introduced the gold standard as a way for measuring people's love for Aurum. As the first innocence, he declared that there should be more of those like him. It is presumed his disciples were the beginning of the Holy Party, the founding party. Question 2. Who was the strongest innocence? Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody. An innocence is the highest category of historical personage in the world, a literal personification of history. Traditionally, an innocence, when anointed, assumes supreme rule over the Occident or the known world in general, at least the parts that matter. I can do better. Okay, so commonly an innocence does not enforce his or her power through military power. This is seen as unnecessary. The innocence wins because an innocence can't help but win, for their deeds are inevitabilities. Did this help? Damn. Great. Dolores. Incorrect again. While she originated many modern institutions, launched several successful expeditions, and was even critical of the innocentic system itself, and somehow keeps popping up in your mind, she is not often considered the strongest. Even though the words most associated with her rule are l'amour, la compassion, l'autodiscipline, love, compassion, self-control, which could be seen as facets of strength. Would you like to try again? Please, relax. Incorrect. Vespa Messina is not a person, but a defunct state on the southeastern coast of the Occident. It used to take up most of the peninsula before separating into the republics of Vespa and Messina. Care to try again? Correct. Named the innocence of militarism, he codified hereditary rule, but at the same time ended serfdom and established the inter-isolari real as the global reserve currency. He also established the concept of the nation. Franco Negro attempted to solve the rising tensions between the aristocracy and bourgeoisie by building a unified society in which every man has a place and a mission, but at the same time may rise to nobility provided on the strength of his virtue. Question 3. Who was the false innocence? Got it under control. No problem. Solid on this one. It's widespread historical information. Yes, there exists a group called the Founding Party, known as the Holy Party, during the time of the Pericarnacian. This, the world's oldest international organization, spends its time in search of either the re-emergence of the innocents or new members. There seems to be a mix-up with the sources. It's not my fault. At least it clearly wasn't Dolores Day. She wouldn't be false. She's beautiful. Correct. There have been a number of counter or false innocences, some assumed to have innocentic qualities, some who just thought so themselves. Occasionally, they have the support of a faction inside the ecclesiastic organization, and accusations of foul play have arisen. The most famous and important of these was Ernest Pasternak. He was into torture, despotism, hymns, cannons, and world conquest, but got defeated and humiliated by Stepan the Despicable of Kedra. Final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much. This is the most important one. Question 4. Who was the greatest innocence? The most important of them all. The most precious to humankind. I've got it, honest. Of course, this is my thing, the reason I exist in this world. The correct answer is Franco Negro. 0 doubts. Incorrect. While Franco Negro built concrete churches and cathedrals, and while many people, especially the Mesque, consider him a father figure, due to his militarism and nationalism, João Paulo Salamao Lopez de Fuego argues differently. Another choice, perhaps? Oh yes, militarism and nationalism. My bad. Yes, obviously. Correct. The MESC might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude. Dolores Day has become widely regarded as the greatest innocence, a most radical change to the whole fabric of the world. Everything from inter-esolary travel to the connected world to 3 consecutive scientific revolutions can be traced back to her. Every decade that passes, she seems less human somehow and more beautiful. Congratulations on finishing the test. The results and your subsequent grade have been calculated. You get a D, not particularly remarkable, but technically a passing grade. Not that anyone really expected better. You would have done better if you just left Dolores Day for the end. Dial the Dolores Day down a bit.
What's going on with you? Okay.
You are shouting at an inanimate object, like a real weirdo. No wonder you seem to have trouble with the right answers.
Put your hands where I can see them. Show me your hands. This is the pigs. Show me your hands. Right now!
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
You shouldn't be here. Something's very wrong with her. She's completely out of control.
Failure to comply. Suspect is displaying aggression. Officer, under duress! Officer, under duress! I am the police. Don't move. Don't! Suspect is on the loose. Suspect at large. That one extra lick with a baton or extra knee strike above was what was actually required. Suspect is under control. Suspect is under control.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
She's frantic, confused, teetering under all that gear. There's an opening if you just move fast enough. If not, the lieutenant's got her in his sights.
Suicide by cop. Split-second decision. Eat lead, scumbag.
God, I almost blew her head off.
What is this? This isn't police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. Police guns always have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
Grab the gun, right now. This might be your only chance.
No one ever cares anymore. Why would they treat me like this?
Poor woman. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia, probably not. But more pressing is the question of what to do with... I don't think there's any need for that. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family. Okay, that settles it. I'll contact my station after we wrap it up for the day. They can contact the sanitarium and handle the logistics. But I think we're done here for now. Let's head out. This is done.
Please, leave the radio on.
Reflex to what? She stands motionless. Just a heap of clothes and flashes now. Maybe if you search her once more. The woman stands slumped. Is one of those things a police cap? She doesn't even flinch as...
Oh, is that yours?
It's hard to say. It's been so long since you wore yours.
It's your hat.
The old woman doesn't react to your touch. Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It reminds you of the day you first held it. This gun, Sunrise Parabellum, will be the only thing standing between you and the all-consuming nothingness that threatens to eat the world. Sheathe it and wait, Herald. It won't be long now.
It's you again. What is it?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I... Right. Please hold.
10-4, come in. Fireworker. 10-4, sir, glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is no need to issue a new one to you then. Over. 10-4, sir, roger that, and very glad to hear it. I will make relevant changes to the report. Roger that, 10-10, over and out.
It's getting cold, this late in the night. Time to call it a day.